When did you realize your family would rather see you dead than break their rules? Ever since my grandmother watched my grandfather die after receiving a stranger's blood, she declared that sharing blood with outsiders contaminates your soul, and she made us donate monthly into a mixed family reserve. Every drop was combined in what she called the unity vessel, because we're one blood and one family and one soul. Everyone began their donations when they turned 16, and missing even 1 month meant complete exile until you donated double the next time. My cousin got shunned from Christmas when she was pregnant and couldn't safely donate, and my uncle drove 8 hours with fresh surgical wounds just to add his pint to the mixture. The combined blood had to be kept in special containers, but grandmother said mixing it proved our family's spiritual purity. We stored it in modified freezers in her basement, and she'd inspect the levels every morning like checking her investments. I watched my brother pass out during a donation because he'd already given blood at a school drive but couldn't tell grandmother without revealing he'd shared our blood with outsiders. My mother always insisted on driving me to donations herself and would hover nervously while they extracted my blood. She'd make excuses if I looked too pale, saying I needed to wait another week to be safe. My father would mock her for being overprotective, but she'd argue that losing me wasn't worth proving family loyalty. During one donation, my aunt had a reaction to seeing all our blood mixed together and vomited, but grandmother made her clean it up and donate anyway. The family treated the blood like liquid gold and talked about how it connected us to our ancestors and made us stronger than people who polluted themselves with stranger blood. My cousin needed surgery once, and they transported our blood to the hospital in coolers so he wouldn't be contaminated during his appendectomy. The doctors fought them for 3 hours before agreeing to use it. Then when I was 17, a drunk driver hit me doing 60 through a red light, and the paramedics said I lost 40% of my blood volume before they extracted me from the car. I drifted in and out of consciousness while my family surrounded my trauma bed screaming at the doctors about not using outside blood. Through the oxygen mask, I heard my grandmother threatening lawsuits while waving forged religious exemption papers. The young resident working on me looked between my dying body and my rabid family and made a choice. She announced they'd test our family blood, and if it was compatible, they would use it. But if it wasn't compatible, they were using hospital supply immediately. My grandmother wheeled in coolers from her van filled with our family's mixed blood. The lab tech took one look and said it was completely unusable because mixing blood types creates antibodies that would kill me faster than bleeding out. My family accused them of lying to force outside blood on us. The resident said she would still use family blood, but she needed fresh donations from everyone immediately while I felt my vision going dark. They lined everyone up for rapid typing, and that's when the bomb dropped. The tech announced without thinking that my mother was A negative and my father was O positive, but I was AB negative, which was genetically impossible because you can't get AB from an O parent. My father stared at the results while my mother started sobbing. The attending said, "We need a decision now or she's going to die." The tech suddenly announced that my mother was a match since A negative can donate to AB negative and she could donate right now. My mother immediately rolled up her sleeve, but my father grabbed her arm and said, "You're not giving our family blood to your bastard child." My mother screamed that I was dying and she could save me, but my grandmother stepped between her and the medical team. That child's blood was never our blood, and if God wants her to live, then strangers can save her. My mother tried to push past them, sobbing that she was literally compatible and begging them to let her save her daughter. My father held her back while I heard the monitors alarming and someone yelling about cardiac symptoms. My mother broke free and screamed at the doctors to give me any blood that would save me, including hers or the hospital's. My father grabbed my mother's arm and said if 1 drop of stranger blood entered my body, then neither of us were family anymore. My mother didn't hesitate and told them to do it now. They transfused 6 units while my family walked out. I woke up 3 days later to my mother explaining that we had 72 hours to collect our belongings under family supervision. My father had already filed for divorce citing adultery, even though her affair with a traveling nurse happened before they married.